Hello everyone, and welcome to the second installment of Grapevine tutorials. Today we're going to take a look at sorting, searching, and data mining. Everyone is familiar with the basic drop-down menu, I'm fairly sure. This lets you choose which characters you're looking at. Obviously I don't have any changelings in this chronicle, but I have a bunch of werewolves, if I go to vampires, and so on. Now, if you want to create a custom sort for this, you need to go up to the search for characters, the little binocular icon at the top, and this lets you actually build your own searches. It's fairly self-explanatory. You just add a new term. Say, for example, I want to search for any Sabbat vampires. You'd select the field, and we're looking for the sect, so as soon as I find it, there it is, sect. Equals, and Sabbat. Perform search, and it gives me all of the Sabbat vampires in the chronicle. If I save this search, that will let me use it for searches elsewhere in the program. So in the drop-down menu here, I'll now see Sabbat vamps. And when I do data mining in a moment, you'll see I'll be able to use it there as well. The other thing that you can do is do a bit of a broader search. It lets you do binary things, essentially. By that I mean, if I change this to pack, I say pack equals blank, this shows me all the werewolves without a pack. If I say pack does not equal blank, it will show me all the werewolves with the pack, and it will give me the matching value of the pack. If you don't want to use equals, you can also use contains. So if I say pack contains owl, it will show me any packs with owl in the name. So from there we go on to data mining. For that you're going to go to the character statistics icon at the top. Looks like a little bar graph. There are a few different ways to look at the data here. I'm going to start off using influences as an example because it's what I tend to use it with the most. So if we go down to influences, if we graph a distribution of influences, you'll see this will show me the total influence traits among characters. I'm going to exclude 0 and none here to get rid of these 130 characters who don't have any. And so you can see there's 5 characters who have 1 level of influence, 6 characters who have 5 levels of influence, so on, all the way up to 1 character who has 40 levels of influence. In any of these you can click on the character. So for example, I want to see what this character has. Just hit show character and it will pull up the character screen like normal. If we go to maxima and graph that, it's going to show us each different category of influence and what the highest level is. Obviously there are some NPCs in here with 8 influence. So if we click on bureaucracy, it will show you everyone with bureaucracy. You just have to scroll down until you see the person with the highest level. This is good for seeing if any sort of influence-oriented plot is going to be over the heads of your characters or not. Excuse me. If we go to sums, then we get to see the total amount of influence in each category. So there are 66 levels of finance active, there's 18 levels of industry active, 54 levels of occult, and so on. This is good for looking at caps if you do influence caps, seeing how much total influence is being taken up in your city, seeing areas where there's room for improvement, and if you want to tell a character, or player rather, no, your character can't have any more influence, and that's because there's already too much of it. Now, we do have options for sorting this, so if I go back to distribution here, normally you'd see the total distribution among all influences, but if I change this to, for example, industry, and graph the data. Now it's showing me only the industry level, so I know there's 1 character with industry 1, 3 characters with industry 2, and so on. If we want to get even more specific, let me change this to something that there was a lot more of first. I want to graph finance, not fiance. I can actually sort this by character type. So if I go to whom to graph, here's that Sabbat vampire search I made earlier. I can see that there aren't many Sabbat vampires with finance influence, probably as it should be. You can also use this for other statistics. So if I go to, let me put this back to all characters first. If I want to graph merits, for example, and I want to see how many people have enchanting voice. Four characters have enchanting voice in this sample set of data that I have. You can also look at the distinct merits that are in your chronicle. So obviously a lot of people have ambidextrous in this data set. Even more people have common sense. That's probably unrealistic. You can also do this obviously with traits. So if I go to mental traits, I can see how many people have total amounts of mental traits. I can actually look at what mental traits are most common. And again, you can search for particular traits. So if I wanted to see how many people have alert, I can see that. That's about all for data mining and searching, and we will resume with actions and influences next.